The Manuscript of Lilith. Long before the first cities were raised, before kings sought crowns and prophets sought mountains, there was said to be a garden where every living thing flourished without striving. The trees reached toward the heavens without competing for the sky. The rivers flowed without asking where they should go. The flowers opened each morning without wondering whether they were beautiful enough. Everything simply became what it was created to become. One day, a traveler entered the garden carrying a mirror unlike any ever seen before. Its surface reflected not only the face, but every hope, every fear, every memory, and every dream. At first, the traveler used the mirror wisely. They admired the flowers and saw their own joy reflected among them. They watched the sunrise and smiled as its light danced upon the glass. The mirror revealed beauty because beauty was all around it. But slowly, almost without noticing, the traveler began looking less at the garden and more at the reflection. Each morning they asked, "Am I enough?" Each evening they asked, "How do I appear?" Days became years. The mirror was polished until it shone brighter than the river. The traveler carried it everywhere, afraid to let it out of sight. The garden remained unchanged. The birds continued singing. The wind continued moving through the trees. The flowers continued opening to the morning light. Yet none of it was truly seen. The traveler had become devoted to the reflection and forgotten the world it reflected. As the seasons passed, the mirror grew strangely heavy. The traveler blamed the road, then the weather, then time itself, never realizing that the weight did not belong to the mirror. It belonged to the constant need to carry it. One autumn evening, while crossing a weathered stone bridge, the traveler's foot caught upon a loose stone. The mirror slipped. For a single breath, it hung suspended between earth and sky. Then it fell into the river below. The sound of shattering echoed across the valley. The traveler collapsed to their knees. Everything I have become is lost. An old gardener, working quietly among the flowers, looked up from the soil. He did not hurry. He did not speak for a long while. At last he walked to the river's edge and sat beside the traveler. Together they watched the current carry away the scattered pieces of glass. The gardener smiled gently. "Tell me," he asked, "before you carried the mirror, did the garden require it in order to bloom?" The traveler looked toward the valley. For the first time in many years, there was no reflection demanding attention. Only the golden leaves drifting through the air, the fragrance of the earth after rain, the warmth of the fading sun upon weary hands, the quiet song of water moving over stone. The traveler began to weep, not because the mirror had been broken, but because the garden had never been lost, only forgotten. The gardener stood, brushing the soil from his hands. Before returning to his work, he spoke one final sentence. The purpose of a mirror is to help you remember your face. It was never meant to replace the world. The traveler remained beside the river until nightfall. When at last they rose, their hands were empty. For the first time since entering the garden, they were free to touch the flowers.